Okay, guys, this is Jason Chance with the Eagleman 70.3 team. On behalf of the race director Jerry Boyle and the rest of the local team, we want to welcome you to this video about the bike course. Word to the warning, this is a longer bike because there's a lot of things that we want to tell you about, so you're going to hear a lot of details that I'm going to give you from riding this course myself many times. So first off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to zoom in to Great Marsh Park. Again, 0 Somerset Avenue, Cambridge, Maryland. This is Great Marsh Park. In transition, you're going to come out here and you're going to come right out Somerset Avenue. You're going to go down Somerset Avenue, you're going to make a sharp right turn, and then you're going to make a left turn immediately onto Jenkins Creek. From there, you're going to turn left and you're going to be going on what we call the bypass. There's no vehicle traffic here, but when you come out to 343 and you turn right, you're going to be on the shoulder of the road. So you're going to be on the right-hand shoulder going out, the left-hand shoulder coming back in. We'll talk about the return in a couple minutes. When you get up to this little store, you're going to split to the right. This is Horns Point Road. You will see all of this again because this is the run course as well. The run course is actually going to emulate the bike course for some time. So you're going to be really going straight at this point, and you're going to come up here, you're going to turn left onto Lover's Lane. So this is the whole area. You're only going to do this once. When you return, it's a little bit different. So then you're going to make a left-hand turn here, and then this corner right here I really want to point out. So this is Hudson River 343 and Town Point Road. You're going to be turning right here. We call this Kessler's Corner because one of the pros, Meredith Kessler, got into a bad accident and was hurt pretty bad. When you're the first rider going out, no problem. You're going to come here, you're going to turn right. The issue becomes on your return. When you return and you go to turn right, there's still going to be other bikers coming out to turn right. So when you make this turn, please slow down and take the turn sharp. You don't want to cross over. It's what happened with Meredith, was she swung a little wide to get a tighter turn, and this person this way swung a little wide as well. So just please be very careful. So this is Town Point Road. Town Point, hint, a lot of times there's a photographer right there on Town Point, as every year that I raced there was. Ignore this for right now. This is on your return. So Town Point Road, you can see there's wide open fields. We are flat. We are dead flat. There's no question about that. But with all these fields and being surrounded by water like this, we are subject to some wind. So if you're coming here because it's a quote-unquote easy course, it all depends on the weather conditions. So we're still on Town Point. At this point, it's turned into Dalesville Road. There was no real turn where it turned into it. They just one blends into another. So as we're coming up, we're moving towards our 10-mile mark. So 10 miles, you're going to see a baseball field and everything on the right. And the aid station is typically in this area right here. So this large parking lot right here, which is nice. All of the aid stations for Ironman are set up the same way. We'll discuss that here in a moment. So as you come up here, you're going to turn right onto Route 16. Now here's where a little local knowledge helps. When you get on Route 16, right about here, you're going to start to see what we call rumble strips, and they're on the shoulder of the road. So these rumble strips are grooves that are cut into the road. They last for about 30 yards, and then there's about a 10-yard break in them. My suggestion for riding them, one, do not ride on the outside and through the travel portion of the road unless you're just speeding by everybody. You're going to approach, you're going to make your 5 or 6 bike length approach, and then when you see a gap and you think you can overtake, my suggestion is shoot through the gap, overtake the person, then come back in on another gap. If there's a large group of bikers, you can come there to the outside. You just have to be really careful because you're going to be out in the travel portion of the roadway. So you're on Route 16, you're coming through this nice little town, Church Creek. There's a little time trial that's here. As soon as you punch out of this town, you're going to be right on the water. So you're going to be passing through some really beautiful places, but as you can see, no trees, no shade. So if it's a hot day, you're going to feel it. We're known for that. Make sure you take plenty of water. You already passed your first aid station at mile 10. The aid stations are about 11 miles apart or so. So that's really not bad. Folks, you still have rumble strips at this point in time. There's still rumble strips on the side of the road. They'll cut off up here around mile 18 or so, 17 or 18, but you're going to see them. The nice thing is the shoulder is wide enough that technically you could pass two people and still be on the inside of the rumble strips. Depending on which way the wind is coming from, you can see here's your compass. It's coming from the north. It's going to be blowing on your side at that point in time. It's coming from the west. It's going to be a headwind at this point in time, but fortunately it should turn into a tailwind. Doesn't mean it always does. So still riding along. Nice straight. So we're going to start to get a little bit of tree cover here. When you start to see a whole bunch of the tree cover, be careful when you come back out here if it's a windy day. As soon as you lose it, you're going to get pushed by the wind. This is a bridge right here that you're going to go over on Route 16. Keep that bridge in mind, because use that as a point that you know that you're only about a mile or so from the next aid station. So 21 miles in, so 11 miles from your last aid station, here's your next aid station. As you come up, you're going to make a sharp left-hand turn. TJ Togson missed this turn one year and wound up way down here on a great big bridge. So you're going to make this turn. We have deputies, we have flaggers, we have everybody there. There will be a police car with lights going. You need to make this turn. Please be careful of this corner. We try to sweep it in the morning, but it is known sometimes to have loose gravel. Slow down a little bit when you go to make this turn. Please slow down. Okay, so as we're moving along, we're going to be going into a pretty shaded area here. This is a good place for us to talk a little bit about aid stations. All aid stations are set up the same way for Ironman. There are 5 tables. It goes water, Gatorade, food, Gatorade, and water. And I say food because it changes from year to year. This year the sponsor is Cliff. So it'll be water, Gatorade, Cliff, Gatorade, water. That is at every aid station, whether it is a bike aid station or a run aid station. As we're riding along through here, if we ever see, when we go out and we test ride the course, if we see any kind of obstacles or issues or anything, we're going to mark them with orange echelons. Here at this corner in Smithville Road, there's a couple tiny little sinkholes that pop up. They're only about 6 inches or so, but every time I ride, I hit these things. So when we go out and we test ride the course, if they are there, they will be marked with an orange echelon. An echelon is an arrow. There will be about 5 of them way before it to let you know that there's an issue. So when you get to a little S-turn there in Smithville Road, just kind of be looking down on the ground. You're going to ride along. Nice little bridge that you're going to be going over. Again, use the bridge as a guide. You're probably about 3 miles from the turn at that point in time. My suggestion is hop in your car and go for a ride. It's absolutely beautiful out here. You'll probably see some bald eagles, some Sitka deer, things like that. So we're going to ride up here, and this area will be marked off pretty well. You're going to make a left-hand turn, and then you're going to be turning onto Hooper's Island Road. When you go to make this turn, you've got about 1.5 miles. You're going to go over another little bridge, hint, hint. You got about 1.5 miles before you're going to come up here, and you're going to see Goody's Marina. Goody's Marina is a nice kind of point. It's also the point that if the wind was in your face one way, it should turn around for you. And that's at mile 32. So this is Goody's Marina here. You'll see it. The aid station is built right here before you make this sharp left-hand turn. You'll also see that's where we placed the bike penalty tent last year. The bike penalty tent was after the turn. The aid station was before the turn so that you slow down. And the aid stations, again, water, Gatorade, food, Gatorade, and water. They're spread out long enough, and there's a last chance trash beyond that. So now we've turned onto Golden Hill Road. We're a little over 30 miles into the ride at this point, so we're well past the halfway point. This is all wide open marsh, and it is very pretty, very beautiful. When you get to some of these areas, you might not be looking around, but like I said, go for a little drive and actually look at this. Depending on the wind conditions, it can sometimes get a little breezy in your face. this, you are 5 feet from the water, and then there's a little bridge that's up here. Guys, go back and review this video and look at where the bridges are. Mark them down on your maps. Your maps can be found in the Athlete's Guide. It can be found online. This is a real good point to take a look at. Right now it shows an open field, but this was done back in 2013. Now this is a giant building. It is the Harriet Tubman Museum, and you're going to be making a sharp right-hand turn at that point. Sharp right-hand turn on the Key Wallace Drive. The reason I say look for that building is, one, it tells you that that's going to happen, and two, it's a rather popular tourist attraction, so there might be some extra traffic in that area. So now we're going to be on Key Wallace Road. If you are out driving, this facility right here is the Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge Visitor Center. They have eagle cams where they have a couple eagle nests and everything. It's great for people to take the kids out to the day before, the day after. A lot of bikers on this road, so don't know we want you driving on it too much. So when we come up here, we're going to go and we actually make the left-hand turn onto Egypt Road. Around in this area is mile marker number 40. Around in this area is mile marker 40. So you have 16 miles left. Egypt Road has no shoulder per se, but it also has no rumble strips. So a lot of people have always said that it's very rough. We go back and we cold patch over top of everything, and we're actually trying to work with the city and the county to get them to come and repave the road, which I know everyone will be excited about, myself included. After you make that turn, about 5 miles up the road is your last, I repeat, bike aid station. At this point, you really need to top off with whatever you're going to need. From here, you go about 3 more miles down the road. So after the aid station, once you punch through these woods, you're going to see this really long stretch of roadway. That really long stretch of roadway is going to eventually wind up. You're going to start to see big buildings on the right, and you're going to see the middle school and the high school complex up here on the right coming up. That means that you are probably about 8 miles or so. You see this is long and straight. Don't hope for a wind out of the north because it will be directly in your face the whole time. So here's your school complex. When you get to that, you're going to see a traffic light up ahead. If you did the race in years past, you went to the traffic light and turned left. Last year we changed it. You turn left onto Rock Drive. If you notice, this is more than a 90-degree turn, so we're going to have you slow down. There will be flaggers there to tell you to slow down. But what it does is it allows you at Rock Drive to shoot right straight through and not lose any speed. Folks, I said that that last aid station was your last one because here at Bike Aid Station 1, we don't want you crossing over the road to try to go out and reach for something to drink. So it's only about 3 miles back behind you. So you've ridden this before, hence the double yellow line. You are now back on Dalesville and Town Point Road. After you make this kind of, it's not a sharp, but it's a big right-hand turn, you're going to be close to around the 50-mile mark or so. And there's our marker from before, 50 miles or so done, which means you have 6 miles left, which means you have about 5 miles of really pedaling and putting it down, and then 1 mile trying to recover and get your running legs down. When you come up here, this is Kessler's Corner. This time you will be turning right. Again, please slow down to turn right and make that sharp because there will still be other bikers coming the other way. Now you're going to be on the right-hand shoulder of the road, just like a car. You're going to be following this all the way up. Still staying on the right-hand shoulder, you will see lots of runners over on the other shoulder. As you come up, the cars will actually be told to stop in this area. The cars will stop and you will be able to go around. So just stay on the shoulder. Do not try to shoot through cars. Check with your athlete's guide and follow your athlete's briefing. You'll be coming out off the bypass. You will turn right on Jenkins Creek. You will turn right again onto Glasgow and then left onto Somerset, and this is a little bit of a downhill. At this point in time, there will be a dismount line right here, and your bike will be complete. Thank you, and we hope you gathered something out of this. We'll see you in June.